All right, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is Black Success Magazine, the podcast. And good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast. We come to you Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about PR and how we're going to be able to give you a booster shot for your PR for your business. So in the last segment, we'll get on that, and it should be a fun segment. Folks, for those of you, this might be your first time checking out Black Success Magazine. We're online. You can actually go to our website at blacksuccessmagazine.com. Real cool stuff. And I always have articles there and videos, podcasts. I always have our podcast on that website. Having some issues with the website because for some reason we can't get some updates on it. So some weird things are going on, but we're always working on that. If you would like to send me an email, just send it to info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. Love to hear from you. We'll actually read your questions online Friday for our open mic Friday. So that's kind of fun stuff that we do on Fridays because Monday through Thursdays, we basically talk about what I want to talk about. But on Fridays, we open up the microphone to you so you can, tell me whatever you want to tell me. But it's really easy. Just send me an email. Just send it to info@blacksuccessmagazine.com and I will read that. And as always, you can always reach us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Apple Podcast, where you can follow us, where we update stuff all the time. Some really just interesting stuff that's going on in, in the world. I mean, some really just cool stuff. So let's start off by talking about there was a course that there's a reality star. I don't know if you saw this story, but a reality star, she launched an online course on how to use persuasive writing to get on TV. Yeah, I mean, some people really want to get on TV. I know I don't mind being on TV. I've been on TV many times, but you can always get on. It never hurts to get on TV more. Her name is Kimberly Worthy. She's known as the woman who infamously freaked at dismembering a whole chicken and who forgot to put sugar in her sugar cookies on the Food Network's worst cooks and worst bakers in America. Oh yeah, but she's cute, so that's fine. With that said, Kimberly knows a thing or two about reality TV, but before she made it onto the big screen, she first had to make it through the application process. So bottling, and this is a really interesting story. This is on blacknews.com. So if you want to check that website out, we love giving shout outs to these magazines, these online platforms, which is, they do some great stuff. Bottling up her tried and true techniques, Kimberly has launched an online one-on-one coaching service to assist people with learning the skill set of persuasive writing. Persuasive writing is the first step of the application process to appearing on reality TV or any other type of non-scripted television show. So that's pretty cool. So this, and we'll put a link to this. If you want to go to our website, it's KimberlyDWorthy.com. And you can actually do a one-on-one session with her about if you want to get online and you want to get on one of these reality shows. Very cool. I don't know if you saw this weekend. I love sports, and love to see what's going on in the world of sports. And I watched two events this weekend that just got me jazzed up. One was in the UFC, where Francis Ngannou, he's from Cameroon. His name is Francis Ngannou. They basically say he's probably the scariest individual on the planet. And he's not really scary. He's just a big brother. Big brother, 6'4", 263, all kinds of muscles flying all over his body and stuff like that. And he was fighting against Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight championships in the UFC. Now, you would think that this would be a no-brainer that, Francis Ngannou, who is 6'4", 263, would beat Stipe Miocic, who is also 6'4", but he only weighs 230 pounds. But the first time those two fought, Miocic beat Ngannou. And Miocic is a white guy. He's from, I think he's from Ohio or something like Cleveland or something like that. Fireman, crowd favorite. People love the guy. But the first time that those two fought, Stipe Miocic, not only beat Ngannou, but beat him pretty handily. And he just took him to the ground, beat the crap out of him. And in 5 rounds, he got the decision and won the fight. Well, now we're 3 years later, and Ngannou is the same size, but he's bigger, stronger, faster, learned a lot from that. And Miocic actually is now lighter. He looks skinny, to tell you the truth, at 230, right? He looks skinny. And folks, this was a 2 rounds, knocked the guy out. Francis Ngannou is the new champion of the world. I couldn't even watch. It was on pay-per-view. I couldn't even watch the fight because I had no favorite. I really didn't have a favorite in this. I mean, I really, and down in my heart, probably wanted Ngannou because he's from Cameroon. He actually, by way of Nigeria, by the way of France, by way of Las Vegas, which I'm at right now. But I really didn't have a favorite. But I thought to myself, if Ngannou hits this guy, he's probably going to knock him out. Francis Ngannou, the new UFC heavyweight champion, and we wish him the best. We're very excited about that. Also, in another related story, my favorite race car driver, and many of us were talking about this a couple of days ago, Friday, I think it was, Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion in Formula One racing, raced in the Bahrain Grand Prix. And this was, folks, now this is, so I forgot to tell you, it's not Lewis Hamilton, it's Sir Lewis Hamilton. Yes, Sir Lewis Hamilton. He is the only race car driver who is a knighted race car driver who is racing while he's a knight. Now there's Sir Jackie Stewart and there's Sir this, blah, blah, blah. But they were knighted after they raced. Lewis Hamilton, the Queen of England, felt that, hey, you know what, this guy, he's just a representative of the world, and we want him knighted now. So he's Sir Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton raced in this race, and he races for Mercedes. Not only did he have a slower car, but he was starting second, which just gives you kind of disadvantage in Formula One racing. Okay, I'm getting to this very quickly. Mercedes outwitted the competition with the best driver in a slower car. Not only did they win the Formula One race, but they won it in the last lap. There were like 2 laps to go. This was a cat and mouse chase. It was just incredible. If you get a chance to watch the replay, folks, this was epic. Usually Lewis Hamilton just leaves everybody in dust. It's kind of a boring race because he just leaves everybody. But in this race right here, this was a nail biter all the way to the end. Lewis Hamilton wins it in epic style. So you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. Let me give you another story here, folks, before we leave, before this first segment. You know, are we going to have time? No, I'm not going to have time. All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk. I'm going to give you 2 more stories that, and one is about artwork that was in Benin that is that you're going to want to find out about, and another one's about doctors. So when we come back, folks, we'll talk a little bit about that. This is Sherman Rick, Black Success Magazine podcast. We'll be right back in just a second. Okay. And I've got a really busy day today, folks. Busy day. For those of you who don't know, I do some consulting. And so I've got really busy day because I got a client that is just doing some fantastic stuff, and we're very excited. We're trying to expand our consulting business a little bit more. So let me give you a story. This is which story should we do first? Let's do the story about there's a documentary going on, and it's the documentary inspires more black boys to become doctors. And why am I this is this so exciting? Well, because there are throughout history, people tend to be what their parents are. If your parent was a bricklayer, you tend to be a bricklayer. If your parent was a butcher, you become a butcher. Parent was a doctor, you become a doctor. And there's a whole generations that's all they've had in their family are doctors. That's all they know. There's a documentary that's inspiring more black boys to become doctors. This is a story out of Dallas. The long anticipated documentary, Black Men in White Coats, is taking the nation by storm in a grassroots fashion. The brainchild of Dr. Dale Okorodudu, a Dallas-based pulmonary and critical care physician. The film tackles the issues of pertaining to why black men aren't becoming medical doctors and what that means for society. Now, this is interesting because people who come from the Congo, they come from Nigeria, Cameroon, those places, Liberia, they come out of their country as doctors and they stay doctors. And it's just that's just the way they are. Here in America, we have a little different focus. Not all families. I'm making a general statement. We just have a different focus, and that has far-reaching repercussions. So this doctor says, "Hey, there's a problem." It says it features leaders in the field while also bringing intellectual star power with individuals such as Hill Harper, former Surgeon General Jerome Adams. Okay, my brother, he just left the office just now, and NBA champion Shane Battier. In the first week since official release, this documentary has received over 200 5-star reviews. An amazing feat for an independent film. Love to have this, folks. I think we're going to try to get a link to this thing on our Facebook page and also on our website. We're excited, but not surprised it's catching such a buzz. We've basically been planning this film for the past 8 years, the doctor says. It's sparkling a huge conversation that is contentious for many people. Wonder why? When you're talking about race, opportunity, and health, that's a lot of fireworks, and that's a lot of options. And a lot of emotions. It's proving to be a thought-provoking film that everyone has an option or an opinion about, whether you agree with us or not. Now, I got a problem with this, just a little bit. I believe in America, the only reason why people don't become a doctor or they don't become lawyers is because that is not there. It's not because there's not opportunity there. It's because that's not our focus. It's kind of like if you want to be a bricklayer, you hang out around bricklayers. I don't think that what was happening is we're not being modeled that though. You don't see a lot of black doctors. You don't. And they're not propped up. They're not lifted up. Now you see a lot of rappers. You see a lot of basketball players, football players. So kids, what do they want to do? They want to be rappers, football, or basketball players. But our emphasis in the black culture should be more on doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, that kind of thing. And if you saw that in bigger numbers, you would probably see more engineers, doctors, that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited about this video or this movie, and we will try to link to this and try to get this on the show. So this is very, very cool. The British Museum. So the Brits, as you know, spent a lot of their time going through Africa, as many other nations did. Basically, I don't know, for lack of a better word, exploring and uncovering ancient civilizations. Well, in this story, which came out last week, I believe this story was last week, University of Aberdeen in Scotland announced its plans to return a stolen African sculpture back to its rightful home in Nigeria. Now, I'm Nigerian, so I'm very excited about it. I'm Nigerian by way of Jamaica. Okay, and many of us are. So many of you, if you do a DNA search, you'll probably find that you're probably Nigerian too. So this is a very cool story. The bronze statue in question, and I'm gonna show you guys this story. So I'll share my screen with you so you can actually see this story. Let's see here. Come on. going to do this as quickly as I can. All right. So this is the picture. So this is a Benin bronze sculpture. It was stolen, and I don't know how long ago it was stolen, but this actually was stolen from Benin. And like a lot of things that were in Africa that you see in museums, they were not like, oh, the government just said, hey, take it. You had explorers who came through there and they said, hey, well, that looks good to me, and they took it. So this particular piece right here, though, is being returned to Benin, which is great. So we're very excited about that. This is being restored to its rightful owner. The bronze statue in question depicts an Oba, or ruler, of the Kingdom of Benin. It was stolen in 1897, dear Lord, during British colonizers' rule over Nigeria. Al Jazeera reports, however, neighboring Benin was an independent state at the time that British soldiers ransacked the country, stealing a number of artifacts that they sold to Western and European museums and collectors. The University of Aberdeen purchased the stolen sculpture in question back in 1957, but in 1957, sorry, I lost my place. But now, over 60 years later, the British University is owning up to having extreme, to the problem with them doing that, and it is to keep the stolen relic on display. It would have been right to have retained an item of such great cultural importance that was acquired in such reprehensible circumstances, said the Chancellor. So we're very excited that this artifact is actually being returned because it didn't belong. Let's say, today, if you found a treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean or a treasure vessel or something like that, they would tell you, no, that's not yours. It was a ship that was somebody else's. It sunk. You happen to come across it, but it is not yours. It was never yours. You found it. It needs to go back to the rightful place. They might give you a reward for it. In this case, it's the same thing. The British came through, ransacked a independent country, stole parts of it, and it's time to give it back. Last story before we go. 10 places. This is an interesting story. They said there's 10 places every Black woman should visit in her lifetime. This is pretty cool. I'm going to go through these pretty quick because we're going to run out of time in this segment because I really want to leave time for our last segment. But number 1, Brazil. Said to have the body of the American and the soul of Africa. A getaway to Brazil is a no-brainer for Black women. So, these are by Essence Magazine, put this out, so this is not me. Okay. Number 2, South Africa. At a glance, South Africa has all the trappings of a great vacation spot: sun, sand, safari, and summits. But dig a little deeper and you'll discover that it also has soul. South Africa's history of apartheid is of particular relevance to African American travelers, and the cultural renaissance taking place in places like Johannesburg district is a beauty to witness. So South Africa. Number 3, France. France, perfect place for a siesta to indulge yourself, from the beaches to the Riviera. I was in Monte Carlo for a couple of weeks. It's a beautiful place. It really is. My favorite is number 4, Jamaica, man. You know what? Everybody should go to Jamaica. I don't care, men, women. Okay, we could actually stop the story right there. Jamaica has everything you need. Close to America. Actually, you know what the number 1 destination for Americans is? It is not Hawaii. It is Jamaica. It is right off the Florida coast. And more people go from Florida, from New York, East Coast, go down to Jamaica, the Caribbean, that kind of stuff. Number 5, the United Arab Emirates. That's debatable. Number 6, Thailand, which is another great place to be. I've been to Thailand several times. Very, very pretty place to be at. Number 7, Ethiopia. I never thought about that. It's a great idea to go to Ethiopia. And I think it'd be great to have the food in Jeddah, that kind of stuff. Number 8, Japan. Never thought about that either. So Japan is a great place to go. The Maldives. So the Maldives, for those of you, God, well, that'd be cool. And number 10, Tanzania. So that'd be cool. So, I mean, it's still in Africa. So you can at least get their place. Beautiful place to go. So those are the top 10 places that you could go if you are a woman of color. Forget them all. Go to Jamaica. That's where you want to go. When we come back, folks, we're going to talk about your business. We're going to talk about PR and how you can boost your PR with these tips I'll give you on boosting your PR for your business. Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Be right back. All right. So, public relations in your business, getting people to look at your business is important. It is not only important, it is essential for people to know that you're there. I just had somebody who contacted me because she saw the show on Friday and she saw a Thursday edition of the show, which we feature Robbie Thomas, and we're talking about finance. And she says, "Hey, Sherm, I didn't know you had this podcast." And I went, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I have a podcast. We're actually going on, we're almost close to a year right now." And she had no idea that we had a podcast. And no matter how much you think you're putting your business out there are going to be people who don't know about it. And you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. You're missing out on money, missing out on a lot of things. So don't be fearful that you are being too, forward with your business, because there's a lot of people who won't even know that you're there. And that shows that you're not really doing a great job on PR. So let's talk about 8 ways or 8 things that you can use in your business to boost your PR sex appeal in your business. Number 1, zero in on the right media. Okay. Zero in on the right multimedia. All right. So there's different kinds of media that you can use for your business. There's TV, there's print, there's radio, there's TV, there's social media, there's paper, that kind of stuff. You got to zero in on what works the best. And it might take you some A/B testing, or, what we mean by A/B testing is you put out the same message on different channels. Okay. It could be TV, it could be print, it could be radio. Which one is actually getting eyeballs? Which one's actually, and it takes some testing on that for you to figure that out. Because if you keep trying to put your business out on the wrong channel, you're just wasting money. Okay. So zero in on the right media for your business. Number 2, leverage word of mouth. One of the most powerful public relations weapons for startups is word of mouth. Most of the time, business owners focus their efforts on paid marketing and advertising. While it's also good to invest in that, word of mouth can get your message across without expense of advertising. Okay, there's an expense in advertising. One way to generate word of mouth is through publicity. You can do this through giveaways, media releases, and special events, and other ways to make sure that you take care of customers by delivering consistently great customer service. Okay, you can never outdo good customer service. If people are not telling everybody about you, or your employees are not telling anybody about you, once again, those can be your most powerful allies. Number 3, use local influencers. Find the people online or in your particular locale who align with your brand. Okay. Let's say you're a cup manufacturer. Find other people who drink coffee or who are into cups, that kind of thing. They're in your same wheelhouse. Search out blogs, podcasts, Instagram to see who would be interested in what your company offers. Okay. So this is very interesting. Who would be interested in your cups? Coffee people. That's right, because they use cups. Okay. They're influencers. Influencers are always looking for new content, and they can provide you with affordable sources of press, ultimately new customers. Okay. So search out those influencers. Number 4, let me make sure. I got to make sure my time is good here. Okay. Just got a couple minutes. Make use of social media. Public relations nowadays is not all about cold email pitches and rubbing elbows with journalists. Marketing, PR are nearly synonymous. Don't overlook the power of social media. That's why I'm on social media every single day, every day. really, it's you cannot always be in the newspaper. You cannot always be on radio. You cannot always be on TV. Okay. But you can be on social media every single day. So don't overlook it. And don't overlook all of the different mediums that are a part of social media. Okay. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's Facebook. Okay. And those are just the big ones. There's tons of other ones that you can actually use. And the way you use them too, and the times that you use them. So it's a whole art to this. Number 5, work with various PR experts. Every PR person has their own unique list of media contacts, as well as different levels of creativity in their pitch, rapport. You shouldn't expect that a single agency, in-house rep, or PR freelancer can support your brand's publicity efforts in all markets as effectively as multi-specialists would. This is especially true if you have a presence in different markets, regions, or cities, since it takes a lot of experience and on-the-ground knowledge to effectively do PR in Oregon versus Arizona, okay, or New York. As a matter of fact, I was speaking to a gentleman yesterday. He's from New York. Every time I speak to people who are from out of the state, I go, tell me a little bit about what you're doing. Who are you? What are you doing? What's your experience like? Because they have a different aspect. They have a different niche. They have a different slant on life. And I want to know because I know what I know, but I don't know what they know. So work with various people. Get different outlooks from those other people. And don't expect, because you're working with this one guy, that it's going to work in this market. Okay, because it may not. Number 6, and we're going to let me make sure on my time here, folks, because I don't want to run out of time. Oh, got plenty of time. Sponsor relevant events. If you can sponsor an event that has a good impact-related focus, then you can do a lot of good for your brand and carry a strong message across based on the association. That's just the branding value, obviously. The inherent good is more than enough reason to take action on this type of activity. Okay, so what they mean is you can do an event that ties in with your particular business, your particular brand. And I used to do, when I had my restaurant, I would do events. I did a coffee and beer festival. Why did I do a coffee and beer festival? 1, because I sold coffee. Number 2, I brought in beer people because beer people are the same people as coffee people. So I got a twofer. I got a 2 for 1. The people who were interested in beer did not realize that, hey, my coffee shop was there. They love coffee. And it was a twofer. I got a twofer on that. I invited brewmasters and I invited coffee roasters. It was an awesome event. So it's got to be relevant though. Okay. Number 7, join relevant forums and roundups. Okay. These can be all over the place. These if you are let's say, well, once again, we'll say coffee, join the coffee roasters forum. The green bean guys, you can create great relationships and great synergy with people like that who may not have known that you're even there. Okay, some of these coffee forums are in Oregon or something like that, or they're worldwide. They may not have a presence here in Las Vegas, and other people will go on those forums also, looking for people who are relevant in that sphere. Let me see if I got one more minute. Yeah, I don't run out of time. Number 8, I'll say this real quick. Create free audience resources. Okay, giveaways. People love giveaways. Relevant stuff. Hey, would you like the 8 great steps on coffee or on cups? People want it. You get their email addresses, and that way you're able to give them insight into your business. Plus, you're able to get their email address so you can send them more stuff to talk to them about what's going on. Anyways, folks, this has been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the show today, folks. I really do. Be with us again tomorrow, where we're going to talk about some more cool stuff. I've got a busy day today. I hope you do too, folks. Have a wonderful day. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Always go to our website or at blacksuccessmagazine.com, or you can email me, info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. I will answer your questions. Okay. It's been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We will see you again tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, for Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Bye-bye.